Welcome back to the PokerStrategy.com TSL number 3. We're here on the round of 8. Game number 2, Empire.Kas took it very decidedly in game number 1. Now we've moved over to Terminus Re with Empire.Kas spawning as the red Terran in the 12 o'clock. His opponent, the Gateway Heavy style Adelscott, spawning as the blue Protoss in the 6 o'clock. And I want to go ahead and plug the beautiful art that Glider has done for this TSL3, the pencil sketches. Go ahead and give him some views at theportraitart.com.
Dude, Glider, I have been watching this guy since he first posted his videos on Team Liquid so many years ago. This guy...
He was cool.
Yeah. I'm a total Glider hipster, man. I was like, thanks for ruining Glider TSL, lol. No, man. Now that I finally make money at StarCraft 2, I think it's time to commission a portrait of myself from him.
Oh, wow. Actually, Manifesto 7 got a portrait of his wedding day.
I remember that. That was so well done as well. That is
Yeah.
just about as romantic a gift as I can come up with.
Yeah, so for all the ladies out there. As we jump back into the StarCraft universe, we can see some chrono-boosted probes, and I believe... Oh, he's making me...
Oh,
I was going to say,
I'm so glad you were talking, because I was going to be like, oh my god, it's going to be a 15 Nexus, but instead, it's like a late 13 Gateway. I don't know, man. That's like such a late Gateway. Very interesting, but just kind of making sure that he has non-stop chrono probes, and I like that. It's safe because it's a Gateway build, but at the same time, he has not stalled out on probes for even a second. The fact that Adelscott doesn't even like to scout, this is going to give him an even stronger economy than what we saw last game.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to be looking for, is how quickly Adelscott scouts, especially because it's a 4-player map. We can see Empire.Kas sending out his first SCV is going to be a scout as he's moving down into his natural. He's got that gas up very quickly and making a Marine, so looks like his build on game number 1 was specifically tailored to Adelscott and to Xel'Naga Caverns, and to the fact that it was game number 1. Now here on game number 2, going to be a little bit safer getting that Marine out before he throws the tech lab onto his barracks.
Yeah, you know, that's going to be the normal way for Terrans to play, but this game, throwing that Marine out there, that's going to help his scouting just a little bit as well. Does not want to see anything proxied, wants to stop any possible probes, and I really do think that we will see a Reaper first once again. I think that's a great choice. You know, Marauder expands are great, but Reapers can scout, and there we go. He does start up that
So
Reaper
smart.
while Adelscott gets his Nexus.
Yeah, very quick second Nexus here for Adelscott, even before getting any Gateway units out, actually. He's got his first Stalker coming out, not chrono boosting that. He's choosing to chrono boost on the Nexus, so he really wants to get his economy going here. Yet again, dropping that chrono on the Nexus. So taking a look at the income tab, he's a full 3 Harvesters ahead in the early game, and getting his Nexus up that quickly, he's going to just move that much more ahead moving into the mid game.
You know what? I am in complete love with this build, Chill. You know, he chrono boosted those probes out so quickly, specifically to get that Nexus, and as you said, before any Gateway units, but still, here's the Stalker, so a Reaper
Right.
isn't going to hurt him, and even any sort of Marauder pressure, he should have enough units out to be able to hold off by the time it gets there, and that Nexus is unbelievably fast. An amazing and beautiful build by Adelscott, immediately throwing up 2 more gates, and Empire.Kas basically with the Terran equivalent of, you know, Reaper, expansion, add 2 barracks. So both guys getting a lot, and oh my god, the Reaper coming in, 1 kill on that Reaper, but it will go down, thanks to the Stalker. Awesome builds, awesome strategies by both players here. Oh my god,
Yeah,
it's
so-
TSL number 3.
So Empire.Kas now fully aware of what his opponent is up to. That Reaper sitting out in front, going to take out the scouting probe. So Adelscott not fully aware with what's going on in his opponent's base, going ahead and throwing up his vision. We can see he has no vision at all of that natural expansion, so he's going to have to do something to become aware of what's going on. Meanwhile, Adelscott following up with just 3 gateways, and we're going to have to wait and see what his next move is. He's only mining with 3 probes in a single assimilator, has not yet taken a second assimilator, so really curious. A little bit of a skirmish going on in the middle with this Reaper being driven back away from the Xel'Naga tower.
Yeah, man, as you were saying, Adelscott really hasn't seen anything. As far as he knows right now, Cass is going mass Reapers. And if he thinks that's the case, that's a pretty easy win for Protoss. But I think that we're going to see Obviously, he's going to pump out a few more units to make sure that he's not too far behind on that, and he is warping in a proxy pylon. So we definitely could see some pressure, but what I would love to see is a little bit of pressure, see exactly what Kas has, and then make another Nexus, because he is so far away from Kas. As we can see, at least as observers, Kas cannot really get aggressive on Adelscott for a little while longer here.
Yeah, I like this. I just hope Adelscott doesn't commit to this attack too heavily. Kas is so smart, moving out and seeing those units poised forward. He puts up the bunker, wants to be safe. But here we go, Adelscott throwing up the Guardian Shield, trying to... Oh my god, two force fields, immediately isolating the majority of the units, but the Reaper jumping down. So smart and so nice by Kas. The bunker completes, the Zealots begin to go to work chopping that. Force field isolating the SCVs. Bunker gets taken out. This is a huge problem for Empire.Kas, as he's now pulling all the SCVs off the line at the natural, trying to reinforce with Marine Marauder. The dance of Stalkers moving back, kiting those units so well. And the choke point...
Oh my god. That was
defensive
actually
choke point
so
Kas
beautiful.
has been completely broken.
And Kas actually going to fly his command center back into the main base. Oh my god, Chill. That was so awesome. What a beautiful pressure build. Kas trying to push the expansion a little bit too far. Very late bunker there. But, you know, lucky for him, Adelscott ran out of his force fields. And after that pressure, which, well, I thought it was going to be a light pressure, but turned out to be an amazing pressure that did a lot of damage, Adelscott going to make his next Nexus. And suddenly I think he's going to be thinking, wow, I should have played my own style last game as well.
Yeah, and he's really coming into his own style as Double Forge is complete in his main base. He begins researching, and look at this, Artosis, making the necessary changes. He's researching ground armor as he continues with that upgrade-heavy gateway style. Kas now floating his factory out, trying to just peek ahead. Is it safe to come out of his hiding place anymore? And looks like indeed it's not safe as he continues to leave that second orbital command in his main base, now with double medevacs flying out of his main.
Will the pylon see this? Yes, the pylon sees it, but did Adelscott see it? I think he may have, because it looks like he's moving his units forward a little bit. And the only reason for him to randomly move up right now might be, oh, it looks like he's checking for a third. So I think his pylon actually, he did not see out of the corner of his eye those dropships go by, even though it was a possibility to see it. And this drop could be huge. This could be what evens up the game a bit more for Kas, because he is a bit behind right now. And here we go. He's going to be unloading these units right at the natural. Oh my god. Adelscott way out of position here. He does have a decent number of warp gates, but doing a lot of damage to this probe line. A cannon's going up. That's going to be sniped out pretty quickly. And as his main army comes home, Kas is going to have to do the damage he can and get out of here.
Yeah, he does not want to lose the majority of these units to the returning army as Adelscott takes out one medevac. The remaining medevac with a Marauder and 6 Marines trying to fly into the main base. A single Stalker actually being warped in, and with the completion of 2 more gateways eventually going to be turned into warp gates, Adelscott should be safe now from any further harassment. He's got both his upgrades going as +1 armor getting chronoed out, finishes so quickly. Just about to complete right now. Now following up with the Twilight Council. Once he gets Blink to defend against drops, he's going to feel much safer. And I like him putting down cannons to defending against drops, because when you're ahead and you're out on a big map like this, one of the only ways you're going to lose is those sneaky drops. So just spending 450 minerals to get those cannons in each mineral line really pays for itself.
Oh yeah, I mean, those drops will easily kill more than 450 minerals worth of probes, plus the lost mining time. It is a beautiful move to do, especially considering his third got up so quickly.
Okay, so we've reached the magic point with Empire.Kas now dropping in the third base of Adelscott, going to work on this cannon, while Adelscott bringing his entire army back, focusing down the medevac first. Meanwhile, in the main base, we've got a secondary drop with Marines and Marauders trying to focus down this cannon, but Adelscott is on top of it, bringing a small contingent of his army back, warping in more units, completely taking out both drops. The supplies now at 120 for Adelscott and 77 for Empire.Kas. He is up against it here in game number 2.
Yes, he is, man. He is getting further and further behind. Adelscott playing a beautiful game. He is somehow, someway at 40 supply on Kas. Don't even ask me how that happens, Chill. I just do not know. And Adelscott is looking like he is poised to roll through Empire.Kas at his own leisure.
Yeah, Empire.Kas having some beautiful macro here. He's queued only 2 deep in all these barracks. He's got 6 barracks, 1 with a reactor, 3 with tech labs, or excuse me, 4 with tech labs. I'm trying to struggle with my numbers here as we've got Medevacs loaded up, flying into the top right. Looks like Empire.Kas may wait for Adelscott to move out and then hit him with his pants down in the third, and that is exactly what it looks like is going to happen, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to defend these 1-1 Protoss units just crashing through his natural.
Yeah, and you know that 2-2 is going to finish pretty quickly. Blink is on the way. I think Blink may finish right before he actually hits this attack. And already Cass at the natural, bringing down SCVs. He realizes, uh-oh, all my units are out on the map. A huge army's coming. It's well upgraded. There's a ton of sentries. I don't know if he can hold this chill. Here he goes at the same time. A drop in the third base of Adelscott. And Adelscott looks like he may be dealing with the attack at home before setting his attack up. And in fact, Cass, he's buying himself some time back at home with this drop.
Yeah, I find it extremely surprising that Adelscott did not charge in, and there he goes now moving forward, waiting for all his upgrades to finish. He has 2-2 and 2 Guardian Shields going to work with the Zealots trying to tear down the bunkers. One bunker goes down, and those Zealots are going to flood in like ants, just swarming around everything as he gets solid surface area on that. Looks like Adelscott has decided to sacrifice his third base to drive through the natural and into the heart of Empire.Kas' main base as he's well in. The supply showing 2-1 advantage for Adelscott as he charges up. Empire.Kas trying to kite back and forth with his Marines and Marauders, but it is just not going to work as this main army moving into the main base of Empire.Kas, and I feel like that's got to be it.
Yeah, no, I mean, the upgrades tell the story of that battle chill. About 5 armor on those Zealots with the shields, and GG. Wow. That is it for game number 2. It is tied up 1-1. Both these guys totally owning each other, one game after another.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that, I guess ironic isn't the right word, but it's kind of funny that when one person, when one person hits his full stride, you know, he makes the other guy look kind of like a total newbie, and we've seen it both ways in game number 1 and now here in game number 2. When Kaz got broken, he just had zero chance to come back. He played beautifully from behind, but just never really hit that full stride where he would have enough production to deal with the gateway units of Adelscott.
Yeah, you know, I think that is one of the real strengths of Adelscott's play. If you're going to go Marine, Marauder, Medevac against him, if you let him get ahead for even a second, he's going to overwhelm you. So that's something that Cass is going to have to keep in mind. He cannot for a second falter on his macro. He cannot for a second falter on his defense, or Adelscott will be all over him like peanut butter on my toast.
And you don't want to be in that position, let me tell you. I've seen how much peanut butter is on our toast's toast. Many. So that being said, we're going to move on to game number 3. And this is going to be on kind of a different style of terrain. Still a little bit open, but more twisty and windy and bendy. This is going to be on Crevasse.
Crevasse, a very interesting map. As we've seen from Cass, he has some interesting turret placements on it. But the real story of the map is the fact that you can expand so quickly to the high ground and still be on top of a pretty easily defensible ramp. So we're going to have to see how that comes into play. It's going to make it really easy for either player really to get 3 bases up. So we might see an insane macro fest here.
Yeah, and that's exciting, seeing as we're at 1-1, and as we push towards that rubber match in game number 5, if necessary. We're going to see who gets the advantage here in game number 3. Artosis, any last words before we kick it off to game number 3?
Chill. Please, let's get this started. I want to see who is going to own who, or will we have a very close match? I don't know, man. Let's press go.
So those questions and more are about to be answered right after this.